Okay.
So, what is your name and the name of the business?
My name is Terry Persang, and the name of my business is Critter Connection.
How did you first get into the business?
I was actually looking for a job and wanted to do something that I truly enjoyed, and I've always loved animals, so I started looking at veterinarians' offices and things like that, and did not have the right education for those types of things, and found there was several pet sitters in our area. So I contacted a couple of them and heard back from one that said she didn't need help, but she knew somebody who did, and gave me this lady's phone number. Her name was Tracy, and I called her and we met, and she more or less hired me on the spot and took me around to train me how to take care of these animals and what all a pet sitter does, and I found that I just absolutely loved it.
Okay. Remember, I need you to repeat the question and the answer.
Okay. Sorry.
um, how long have you been working for Critter Connection?
I I have been working for Critter Connection about 5 years. I was with Tracy working for her um, for about 3 years, and then 2 years ago she had to move and sold her business, and so another girl who had been working for her, Meredith, and I bought the business. So now I'm co-owner of Critter Connection.
What are the benefits of being a co owner versus just an employee?
I don't know if there's any benefits of being the co-owner besides just being an employee. I get a lot more jobs because we take on mostly what we can handle, and then if we get overloaded, we hand it off to the girls who work for us. Um, so we're getting more hours. The one thing that I really enjoy and missed out on as an employee was I didn't get to meet the owners of the animals, and I have found that going to their homes and meeting them has been more of a joy than I ever anticipated. The taking care of their animals is great, but meeting the people and talking with them has been just as satisfying.
What is your favorite part of working as a owner?
My favorite part of working as an owner is um, oh goodness, I love taking care of the animals. Um, that's just the bright part of the day, is to take care of these little creatures who depend on you, and even if it's only for 10, 20, 30 minutes, it's still very enjoyable to spend time with them. I enjoy that a lot.
What are the weirdest animals you've ever had to take care of? Actually, stop. What are the types of animals you guys take care of?
Uh, the types of animals that we take care of are dogs and cats, of course. We have had birds, macaws, and I actually, when I worked for Tracy, took care of a bearded dragon. Um, that was different for me, and kind of creepy, but at the same time, it was easy. So it was nice.
What are your favorite types of animals to work with?
I love my favorite animal is dogs. I I love all animals, but dogs are my absolute favorite. You just don't know what they're going to do, and I found that I can really relate to the dogs, so I have fun with them.
What is one of the weirdest stories you've had while doing this job?
One of the weirdest stories I had while doing this job was a client that had dogs and cats, and she had two cats in a bedroom, and that's where they stayed while I was taking care of them. They had food and water in there, and she said just go in daily and make sure that they've got the food and the water, and they had a self-cleaning litter box, so I didn't even have to deal with that. And the first couple of days, it was fairly normal, not a problem. But the third day when I went in, the dresser drawers were open and clothes were strewn all over the room. And I was afraid that maybe somebody had been in there. And so I texted the owner to say, this is what I found. And she's like, no, Jack the cat does this all the time. Don't worry about it. If you want to put it back, you can, but he may get it out again anyway. So if you just want to leave it sit, that's fine.
Okay, I need a break. Okay. Maybe I'll use my head more. Maybe that'll work better. Just putting your head into it. Okay. So, okay, so your favorites were dogs. Have you worked with any dog show or dog breeders that show?
Yeah, we have dog breeders that we work for, and they both show their dogs. We have got a lady and a man who have boxers that are just absolutely gorgeous, and we have a lady who has Rhodesian Ridgebacks, which are also beautiful dogs, and they are dogs. I mean, they are show dogs, but for me to take care of them, it's not any different than me taking care of somebody else's dog or my own dog. They have to go out. You clean up after them. You have to make sure they have water and they're fed. You play with them. Show dogs can run around and play just as much as any other dog, and they are some of the greatest people to work for because their dogs are what is so important to them. That to me is just makes it really fun because you know how they feel about their dogs, and generally I feel the same way. I want to make sure that they are well taken care of and taken care of the way that their owners want, and they are just a lot of fun. I enjoy that.
Do you have a favorite breed of dog? Oops.
I don't really have a favorite breed of dog. I take care of everything from the smallest Chihuahua to Great Danes and Irish Wolfhounds, and those are big dogs. Everybody is unique in their own way, and each dog has their own personality, of course. But I can't really say I can pick out a favorite. I've worked with several different kinds, and they're all great. Can't really pinpoint just one. I'm sorry.
So what has been the hardest moment that you've ever had while working in this job?
The hardest moment I've had. I can't do it.
It's okay.
You have to give me a minute.
Gives me a chance to readjust.
Hmm?
Give me a chance to readjust. Ooh.
Well, it was just a little ball thing.
Yeah, but I sure heard it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Give me a second. Good, because I'm not. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, the hardest thing that I've ever had to deal with was just this past spring. I had a client who was going out of town for a family emergency, and just a month or so before this happened, one of her dogs had been diagnosed with cancer. And she wasn't doing good the day that the client left. And I was there for her for 5 days, I believe. And each day, little Marty got worse and worse. And she wouldn't eat. And then it was hard for her to walk. And I kept in touch with the client with phone calls every time I went. I was there 3 times a day to let her know what was going on. And the last day I was there, when the client was coming home in the afternoon, in the morning, Marty was laying on the floor, and you could just tell it was getting close. And when I went back at noon, she was gone. And I felt terrible because I couldn't stay there with her and be there with her till the end because I had other clients I had to take care of. The client was fantastic. She didn't want me to feel bad. She made a point to make sure that she didn't blame me for anything. But I think that was definitely the hardest thing I've had to deal with on this job. And I hope I never have to do it again.